Hello everyone and welcome back to Timberborn. This is the Spillage series. We are already on episode 20. In today's episode, I'm hoping that we can make some good progress with the water wheels and the bad river sewer system that I've been working on. Soon we can probably block this area off. We also need to install a few more of the platforms on top. So we can start off by placing a few of those down. And I think that we need to place just the singles. So we can get a few of those placed down here first. And that might not work. I think I need to actually remove some dirt blocks that I did place down recently. We can cap it off. And we are hitting something. Oh, it's these other water wheels. This is going to be a little bit of a problem. I think we'll need to raise this bridge up. So we should disconnect this, and then hopefully they'll stop using that, and then we can remove it, and we can raise them up. Oh, I also need to place down another zipline station, because there used to be one right here, but I removed that 1 or 2 episodes ago. So we can add this back in, we'll make sure it's super high prioritized, and then we can add a connection across, and add another connection. I guess we don't really need another one. For now we can just have it tie into this system. Make it a little bit easier for the beavers to get around. But now we can remove this bridge, and then we'll do the same for this one. So I think that the beavers might actually need to go out into the other district and then come around if they want to construct any of this stuff. So they are technically... Are they even in their own district now? Oh, we have a path over here. That's how they're getting around. Okay, well, they are connected in. This will be constructed soon, and then everything will be as it should. But now we can continue placing down some of the platforms. So now we can actually get away with just doing a single one right there. And we're actually not putting it there. We will need to continue to build up the dirt blocks on the side. We could use levees, but I think we'll just stick with dirt blocks, at least for some of it. And then we can also fill in a few more dirt blocks right here, and then we can do levees right here. We'll make sure to add in the impermeable flooring, and I think that we actually need to extend a path right over here because they can't reach any of this at the moment. I think at this point, since we've gotten to the same elevation as some of the buildings, we can use levees for the side. Before, I was using dirt just to kind of blend it in with the mountain in the terrain, but now that it's above ground, I think at this point it makes sense to use levees. So we can place down a couple more of the metal platforms, so we can let the beavers and bots work on that for a little bit. I do also, I really need to start laying out some more water wheels over here. I want to work on maybe some sort of reservoir over here, and then taking advantage of all this water that we have from the water seep. And right now it's just kind of chilling. It is irrigating the trees right here, so if we go down, we added a few of these in. And I also started diving into some of the evaporation mechanics of Timberborn, which that is a whole rabbit hole, and I was only starting to get into it. But what I was seeing is that if we have the tunnels 3 wide instead of just 1 wide, it somehow actually decreases the evaporation rate. So I'm going to widen pretty much everything to be at least 3 wide. It does take some extra resources, but I think it's worth it to reduce how much water ends up getting evaporated from this whole system. And I'm probably going to go into all of the other tunnels that we have around the colony and widen those as well, because overall we have almost 4,000 extract and 2,500 explosives. So we're doing pretty good. And another place where we have some tunnels is right over here. So we'll go down. I think that if we can't do it over here because We have trees. We could widen it underneath the path. So basically a 2 wide is better than a 1 wide, and a 3 wide is better than a 2 wide. So we can go all the way to 2 right along here. And then we can't really do much for this section. But if we go way underground, these guys do have some, so we can widen this one. And we do have 15 bots who are unemployed, and then also 17 bot jobs that are vacant. So if we look at District 2, they're missing some bots, and then District 1 over here, they have some extras. So let's go to the District Center and we can migrate. We'll do 10, and then we'll do another 5. And now we should be much more balanced. Looks like there's only a couple vacant jobs, which is excellent. And then we have pretty much all of these buildings turned on. I'm going to turn on this bot assembler, just have one bot working in there for now. We are running a little bit low on dirt, so we can unpause this dirt excavator. And we have a few more vacant jobs, but that's okay. Now that we're making more bots, and we have a few extra bots in this district, we can add a few more water wheels on top where the water will be going through. And then we just need to add in a few platforms so the beavers will actually be able to reach everything in the middle. And then we'll also need to put in some power shafts. But for now we'll stick with this. I think we need to actually extend a path for them to reach all of this. And then probably more importantly, we need to focus on getting some water wheels down below. This is still not connected into our main system, but as we place more water wheels going up the river, then we can connect into these gravity batteries. And I think this one is pretty much as far to the right as we can place it, because I'm replacing some dirt blocks down over here to kind of shift that river over and constrict it a little bit, because the water's not flowing terribly fast right now, so we're going to change that. And since we are going at a bit of an angle with the river, it actually kind of works out perfectly, because these water wheels are 2x3, and then we have one tile in the middle, and we have a little bit on each side. Actually, maybe this is not perfect. I was thinking it would be, but we would need to have an extra space for it to always work. So we can fit this on top. It's just going to look a little bit different in terms of the placement of the platforms, but we're still shifting over, so we'll leave it like that. They won't be able to construct any of this yet, so we need to fill in some dirt blocks on the side, and looks like we have 2.9 thousand dirt in total. We are not really going up at the moment, but we'll give it some time. They should be able to continue to rack up some dirt. And we did trap some beavers over here. If we remove this single levee, is that gonna be sufficient? Nope, we have to remove this water wheel as well. I guess they went down. So then we can duplicate this, and if he will move ever. Come on, dude. Okay, he's finally moving. We'll place down this water wheel, they'll work on that, and then once they've finished it, we can get another levee down. So now we have a bunch of dirt blocks, and it seems like the beavers and bots are working on it from above. They'll work on some of it from down here, and we need to actually connect that path in. Otherwise that path here would not be any use. But we can leave that, and then they can get some of these. We probably need to just go down in the view editor. And so they'll be able to get some of these water wheels, but not pretty, like they won't be able to get anything else in the middle. So we can change that. If we just get a couple platforms over here, we'll go, oh, we're gonna place the power shafts on top. So we'll do 2 doubles, and then we can do this, get all the power shafts connected in, and then on top of these we can get just some single platforms. So we can walk all along there. And then we have another bridge, but I think that we should be okay. Although we might need to remove it because we'll need to have some walls on the side, and I think those walls are going to be buttoned right up against the bottom. And I don't think the game's going to like that. So we'll need to change this. Right now we have this, the bridge goes down and then over. Instead we can just raise that up one tile. So we can remove this guy. We'll do the same for this one. And we also do have a zip line across now. So I can replace the bridge once we've actually placed everything we need for the water wheels and the power shafts and all that. So we'll hold off on placing that for now, but we can get some more water wheels placed down. So we have a good amount of dirt blocks placed over here. We still need to get the other side because otherwise the water's just going to take the path of, or I guess the bad water will take the path of least resistance. So we'll need to continue to fill that in. 2.9 thousand dirt. Let's take a look. We're going down a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Let's make sure we have enough haulers. We are actually missing quite a few beavers to work in jobs in the second district. How are we doing on resources if we want to add in some more beavers? Doing good on water. Food, it looks like we have plenty, so we're not worried about starvation. Their well-being's at 56. So I think we could afford to add in some more houses. I also do want to relocate these ones. So originally I was thinking about maybe placing some of the houses over here. It's close to a lot of the well-being items, so that seems like a pretty good spot to place it. We could get creative and find somewhere else to place them, but I think for now we'll just keep it simple. Maybe we'll do something similar to this, give them a few decorative items, and then some rooftop terraces. I say we build it up a little bit, so it's not exactly going to look like this, but we can fit quite a few of the triple lodges next to each other. We can go 2 spaces in between, and then we'll go up. So it'll look like this. And we have this zip line right here. We can have a path with some platforms going around to get up to the second level, and then they can walk down to this first one. And then we'll also make sure that they are connected in to this path below. So we get one staircase, and I think that connects everything in. And then we'll just make sure, because this is on the second level, so we can just add in some double platforms right around the side and right here. This one, let's have this one be a single. It'll let me click it. So we'll go single and then double right here, and then we'll go stairs, and these ones will be some stairs. There we go. That connects it in. Looks like there's more green path. These will be tied into that zipline station. And then we can keep going up from here if we want. We're not in the line of the zip line. We could also just extend this direction. And ooh, we now have a few contaminated beavers. At the end of the last episode, over here, we tried to have bots working on this. So they were clearing it out. They placed some dynamite here. And we did that at night, but unfortunately a few beavers snuck in during the morning and they hung out around here. And we just had a contaminated adult die, or maybe got cured. We did add in the herbalist, and I can't remember exactly where I put it. I want to say it was somewhere over here. Here we go. He's kind of close to some of the other buildings, some of the other powered buildings, but this one is not. It requires paper, dandelions, and berries. And are we short on something? Looks like might be short on dandelions. Yeah, we have 0. These guys, we could have one of them focus on dandelions, because he can reach the most. Because right now he has chestnuts, and I bet this guy does as well. And then we're starting to have some maple syrup grow up. We do have the tapper shack. What is he doing? He is... what the heck? Maybe he was bringing the maple syrup somewhere. Now it seems like he is actually collecting some maple syrup, which is good news. But I imagine it's probably going to be used pretty quickly. We're making bread right here. I thought we were working on maple pastries in this district, but I think that I may be wrong about that. Let's see, the maple pastries recipe requires wheat flour, maple syrup, and then logs. In this district, we have 70 wheat flour. So if we were to duplicate this guy, and let's just do it. We'll duplicate that. We gotta worry about the zip line. We can switch it so it's not bread but maple pastries. And it looks like the beavers are on the edge of what they can construct. Gotta extend the path. And then also add in some more platforms, but first we'll extend the power network. And at this point we could actually connect in because we are close enough to the gravity batteries right here. So I'm going to make sure that we do that before wrapping this section of the water wheels up. And then I do need to actually place down some dynamite, remove this dirt block that I already placed in, and then from here we'll go up with the power shafts, probably over here. So maybe we tunnel right behind it. We'll do something like this. That way the beavers can go around it, and then we'll just go up and connect in. So that should be pretty straightforward. And I think we could actually start adding those power shafts in. And I don't think they can reach that last one. Oh, maybe they can. I think they should be able to go up and through to place that. But we'll keep an eye on it. And then we can get those last two power shafts placed down as well. And then we have two more of the big metal platforms. We need to bridge the gap right over here and then also fill in some of the dirt. We don't need to put down too much dirt. I did go up 2 tiles. We don't need to fill the whole thing in. We'll just need to go to the elevation that the metal platforms are at. And we'll go all along here. So there's still going to be a little space underneath for the beavers to walk there. We will need to probably have at least a couple columns to support some of the overhangs because there's only a certain amount of tiles that it can reach. So the top is starting to come together. I placed down quite a bit of the impermeable flooring and I just keep forgetting to place down the dirt blocks on the side. So I'm finally going to do that. Just need to be careful about placing dirt blocks underneath these overhangs because the beavers cannot reach that. They can't go from above and, reach around and underneath it. So we'll stick with it from the areas that they can actually reach. And then once they've built that, because they only need to go up 1 tile, and then once they finish that, we can add in some more dirt blocks and that will be level with the rest of the metal platforms. And we can honestly just start doing that over some of them. Just need to be a little careful and not block the ability for them to place down any of the dirt blocks that are at the very bottom. And from above, it's actually looking like we're sealing it up pretty well. We still have this little gap. I think that we want to maybe get, an overhang right here, place some impermeable flooring down. That way we're not constricting the bad water too much. So we'll just go with the platform and then a nice triple overhang. And then we can get those impermeable floors placed down. And then we still could put that bridge back in. Might make it a little bit easier for the beavers to get from some of this area to over here. I guess it depends because we do have the zip lines. But for aesthetic purposes, we can install that. We just need to get a couple more levees placed down to get everything finished off. And then we go with those bridges. This is 5 wide. I don't love that, but I guess we'll just go with a 3x1 and a 2x1 suspension bridge. And then it looks like we need to add in a bunch of paths because they cannot reach any of the stuff at the edge. But now we should be able to. And then let's see. They did connect this in. So now we have some additional power. Let's go down and make sure all of these water wheels are connected in. So we have these ones highlighted, but we're missing one. Is there not a power shaft? Haha. That is the missing link. And then I think Oh, we'll actually need to connect these ones in as well. So I missed that one. And I think the best way to go will just be to dynamite this place out. So we'll just go with the triple dynamite. And then we don't really need to have dirt at this level. I was just placing down 2 levels high just so it was easier for them to get access to it. So we'll leave these ones. They'll work on that. And they're doing that right now. So we can let them finish that. And then I can place down those power shafts. And now the whole thing is going to be connected in. Those are also connected to these. Perfect. It'll be pretty easy to connect these ones in once we just keep going upstream. And then it does start to get deeper over here. So maybe we want to fill some of this in. I don't even know what we have access to at this point. We could do paths over here. I think though what makes the most sense is we'll probably, well, I think we'll just have a temporary one of these metal platforms up here so they can reach all of this. We don't actually need to go to the very bottom. We could just go, well, maybe we do need to. Let's go like this. And then from here we could do this. But that means we need to start on this side. There's probably an easier way to do this during a drought, which we're on day 13. This will stop flowing. We could send some bots down here to fill everything in, which maybe is just worth waiting until that drought hits. And then at that point we can do it. We'll see what the next event is. We're on day 13, so we should be finding out in the next day or two if it's a bad tide or a drought. If it's a bad tide, then maybe we need to wait. Also, I'm realizing we don't even need to worry about this. We just want to go up one more level. So let's scrap all of this. And we'll see when the morning hits what happens. That's pretty much going to dictate what I end up doing. But now I think it's time to focus on getting some water wheels placed up here. And I think that this actually is going to work out pretty well, because this is 6 tiles deep, so we can fit in 2 sets of water wheels. We'll need to remove these paths after we actually get the power shafts placed in. And there was not an announcement overnight, so we'll wait another day, and then we can place those 2 water wheels, get the levee, and then this is going to have to connect in a little bit differently, because we'll extend all the way to here, because we can't have that power shaft snake in between, since that'll be at the edge of that water wheel. So we'll probably need to just go around on the side. And I think at this point they shouldn't be going down under here with this path. We can go down elevation using the elevation adjuster tool thingy we do. And it looks like that is all good. I don't know what this one's for. And I saw, this was a while ago, but someone mentioned that if you remove excess paths, then it actually helps speed the game up just a little bit. I don't know if that's still the case, but either way, we can get rid of all these. And now that those are cleared out, they are collecting this rubble. We can add in the last few levees, and that will prevent any water from going down into the bad water sewer system. And then we'll just make it a little bit more of a gradual drop, and then we can also build up the earth wall over here, and we'll only go up a couple tiles right on this corner, because then it drops below grade, and so we can just pretty much rinse and repeat, just add in some water wheels on the side. And then as long as we add that path in, then they can construct all of this. Although let's do it slightly differently. We are going to pause this guy. We can remove this path, and same with this one, and then we'll have platforms all on top, and then we can go to a set of staircases. That way we can actually have the beavers construct this staircase, and then they can go on top and build all this, and then we can add in the power shafts at the same time. That way, oh, but of course the beavers are going from this direction, so I'm gonna hold off on the power shafts And there was an announcement. It's unfortunately a bad tide, so we won't be able to send the beavers down here without worrying about contamination, because there's going to be a lot of bad water coming down into here. So we might need to do it the hard way if we want to go dirt all up in this section. Man, I don't really love this. We can build the side out a little bit. That'll help constrict it. We'll just use maybe a few extra dirt blocks. The path goes over here, so they should be able to get at least to this section. So we can just go like this. This will all be too far. If we want to add in another overhang, I guess we could. I don't see why not. Would it make sense to try and have them come down this way? We could connect that path in and then do a single platform and then put in that overhang. We're using some resources just to save a little bit of time, but might as well. We're doing good on resources. And it looks like they finished placing down all of the platforms. We have this bridge that we can remove. And then now we can go down and then we'll add in all those power shafts, because at this point I've played enough Timberborn to know that the beavers are definitely going to trap themselves if you give them that option. So we can go to here, and I don't know the best way to connect these all in. We might just want to go on the side. Or maybe we go in the middle. We could go in the middle. We just need to remove one of these platforms. That might be a little bit of a cleaner look. But we'll wait until they've built all this. This one's too far. I think if we add a path in though. Yeah, now they should be able to reach it. And then we can just add in a couple more power shafts. And so I think, are we missing one? Oh yeah, right under there. So we almost had it all connected in. But now we do, well, I guess we have it connected into this. Am I missing more power shafts? We are. Oh, because the beavers were going to go in from this side. So if we remove these paths and then finally block this section off, I don't think the beavers will be able to get into here. Oh, but we don't want this one. Wait. We want to actually move it over here. So we'll have them collect this, and then these two, and then we can have another couple water wheels. I'm also going to put down one more set of impermeable floors, which they can't reach. How can they reach that? We have both of those down. Oh, can they? They can't reach this one. They can reach this one. So we can let them construct these two if we go in from on top of here, but we'll go in on the side. Oh, so this is District 1. And then we can't place that down because I'd be connecting both the districts in. If we remove maybe this path right here. Yeah, that's much closer for the beavers of District 2. We'll let them be the primary builders on this one. And from there, yeah, they can reach both of those. Then we can duplicate these guys, place them down, and then we do need to have those power shafts snake around. I think for this one we want to have the beavers go from this side, and this will be temporary, so they'll be able to go in, go on top, construct all this, and then over here we can put in a few power shafts. And then the rest of these we can add in from below at this level. Okay, so once we have this, that will connect all of these in. Oh, I'm one level off. I guess we don't really need these levees now that I'm looking at it. So we're actually one level higher than we need to be. So we could just remove all of these ones. And since that drop off is right here, so we have this elevation, let's get a better angle of it. It's kind of hard to see, but the water is at this elevation and then drops basically at the edge of these water wheels. So there's a whole tile width before we have the edge right here. So we'll just keep it simple, add in a couple power shafts, and that connects all these in, but we gotta get these ones in. So there are 0.8 days left, and at this point, I think we are wrapped up with today's episode. Let's take a look and see how far they got under here. So this is a separate power system, but it's part of the main system, so we're producing 20,000 HP. And that is more than double what we need. And we do have a bad tide approaching, and I'm actually going to wait to end the episode until the bad tide starts, because I want to see what happens with the bad water over here. If you remember from, I think it was the last episode, we had some flooding down here. We had to put in some tunnels just to try and channelize some of the bad water that spilled over the edge, so we can speed it up. I want to see what happens exactly, because we do have this floodgate that closes, preventing the water, or the bad water, from this bad water seep from coming through here. I think it might just be a little bit too much for the system to handle. Maybe it isn't, but we'll see. It could be that closing this causes some sloshing, or it could just be the bad water coming out of one of these two bad tide drains goes up and over. I did try to add in some more barriers on the side. We'll wait and see in the morning what happens, and I'm going to slow it down once we get there. So we have the bad tide approaching. It's going to happen any second now. And that closed. A little bit of sloshing. We're going okay. I saw there was some bad water that landed right here. I don't know how it got there. We might need to replace a couple of these. I guess this one platform, maybe we could just do one, because we can shift that power shaft over here, but we might not be out yet. Oh, okay, so some is spilling over the sides. Yeah, so we'll need to extend these a little bit. It is still going over, so it's just a lot at once, I think. Yeah, look at all that. Okay, so we can speed it up now. I remember last time it stabilized, but I think in the beginning it's just a little bit too much. Yeah, it seems like it's stabilized now, but it seems like we have a good project to work on for the next episode. I want to work on it now, but we'll wait. I'll just place those there. I don't think they can construct anything. It's so hard to stop playing when you find something that you need to focus on. But we'll slow it way down. This will be what we work on in the next episode. And we'll continue adding in some more water wheels and capping off the bad water river. I do want to try and get some sort of reservoir set up over here, taking advantage of this water. But I think first I should focus on actually getting this part of it done. So if you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me, and it helps the channel out tremendously. I've gotten lots of positive feedback. You guys have been leaving some amazing comments, so keep them flowing. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.